What's up, guys? It's your boy, Mr. Luke Evan Brooks, coming to you once again for another edition of Passive Income Central. Who am I? Luke Evan Brooks. What do I talk about? I talk about how to make money on a semi-passive or fully passive method. We're not going to sit here and play the rat race anymore. We're going to sit here and do it the smart way. We're going to make our money when we go to sleep. We're going to make our money when we go to the toilet. We're going to make our money when we make a sandwich. And this is a channel where we show you everything. So if you're new to this channel, please make sure you go ahead and subscribe. When you subscribe, the bell notification is either on your phone or actually on your browser. Right now, it's going to say subscribe. Click on that. When you do that, you get all our new content that I host on this channel. And we have a lot more things taking place here too. Additionally, if you see it at this end of this video, you like what we're talking about, you like the content, you like the quality of it, please go ahead and throw some likes. It helps. It helps us out. Got a hiccup there. Okay, guys. Today we're gonna do something fun. We're gonna talk about something that's serious, but I want to give you my reaction to it. We're gonna do a reaction video on 10 lottery winners who are broker than broke. And I thought I recorded this the right way the first time, but it did not record the way I wanted to. So we're just gonna go ahead and jump right into it once more, and I'm gonna give you the reaction that I had. Okay, so let's go ahead and find this out right now.
Loves the question, what we would do with the money should we ever win the lottery. But while most of us think about all the wonderful trips around Great Britain and abroad, and many other things, about all the wonderful things we would be able to afford, those who have actually been in the position have shown that things can go south pretty quickly. Statistics show that around 70% of lottery winners end up losing everything, and about a third even end up declaring bankruptcy. From crazy shopping sprees and bad investments to poor accounting and scams, here are 10 lottery winners who ended up being broker than broke. Marva Wilson was a great-grandmother when she won $2 million in the Missouri lottery in 2008, but sadly she soon became the target of a scammer. A family acquaintance named Freya Pearson sweet-talked Wilson and quickly made her way into Wilson's life and her bank accounts. She pretended to help.
Now you gotta be careful with people coming into your life, random people come in your life, including family members that come into your life, because at the end of the day, when they are actually messing around, trying to talk to you, trying to coach you to do things that they would not do so they can get some money, they're gonna leave you dry. But I'll let you listen to it. Let's see how this goes.
And to establish a nonprofit in her name. Pearson stole and spent all of Wilson's winnings, leaving the unfortunate lottery winner with nothing. With all the winnings gone, it was probably little consolation that Pearson was eventually sentenced to 5 years in prison for scamming the trusting old lady. Back in 2004, Sharon Tirabassi, a single mother on welfare, won a cool 10 million Canadian dollars in the lottery. She cashed her check from the Ontario Lottery and Gaming Corporation and spent the money on things like a big house, fancy cars, designer clothes, lavish parties, exotic trips, handouts to family, and loans to friends.
You heard everything she did, right? It's only one thing I think she did that was right, but at the wrong time. It's buying a big house, like a mansion. If it's just a few of you, why do you need a big house, big mansion? Hosting parties for people who do not really like you, but only come around when you have something. That's the issue that I take personally, that I hate. That's one thing I learned growing up, as far as when I got in a car accident over 20 years ago. My friends left me high and dry, and I found out what my friends were. And her giving out money to friends and family, I have reservations on it. Yes and no. If they're close to me, and this is with anyone in my family, if they're close to me and they say they need help, I'm gonna listen. What do you need help with? You know, if it's something that is like, hey, it's gonna put me in the poorhouse or whatnot, I can understand that. But it's something that you really don't need to have, then you might be left with the bill, right? I've seen where people gave money to folks and then they didn't use the money like they said they needed to. And it really just put them in more hurt. Instead of them just saying no more, They kept giving the money thinking, well, I'll give them another chance. And that's not how things work. What I would have done when family came around saying, I need money, I need help with this. Okay, lay out your bills. Let me see what your bills are. And depending on what that relationship was before I got that money, it's going to be based off how much I'm going to help you, right? You may not get nothing, right? I'm not going to give you cash straight up, because if you give someone, let's say they owe a total amount of credit cards, $50,000, and you give them $50,000 cash, you think they're going to turn around and pay the bills like they want to? What they're going to do is spend some of that money, not use the rest of the money to pay what they need to be debt free. What they're going to do is blow that money, come back to you maybe a few months and be like, hey, man, I need help. I said, I just gave you the money to pay your stuff. Well, something came up, all these excuses.
Thanks to her generous spending, it took less than a decade for 𝐦𝐨𝐵𝐞 to blow through all her lottery money and go back to her old life, back to riding the bus, working part-time, and living in a rented house. 𝐦𝐨𝐵𝐞 felt like her experience had been like a break from her life, telling the Hamilton Spectator that all of that other stuff was fun in the beginning. Now it's like back to life.
Really? I could not imagine myself coming right back, riding the bus, working a part-time job, staying in a house I don't own after doing all that for a decade. That's crazy. That's insanity.
Fortunately, she didn't spend all of her ultimately short-lived fortune on lavish things, but also put some of it in trusts for her 6 children, who would be able to claim the money as soon as they turned 26.
That was the only smart thing I heard from this story right here, that before she blew her money, she put some of that money away in a trust, and that's smart. That's very smart.
17-year-old Jane Park from
this one right here is crazy.
Became Britain's youngest Euro Millions winner in 2012 when she won £1 million with the first ticket she ever bought, but later said it ruined her life. Park even considered legal action against lottery bosses for negligence at one point.
Now, she looks good. Don't get me wrong. She is a very attractive young lady, but that's not the point here today. My thing right here that I got for her is that she's trying to blame the lottery bosses, right? That's like me blaming the people who gave me the money to Mega Millions, who gave me the money and said, well, I blew my money because of you. And I used to say this stuff where when I had issues, I used to joke around when we was on a ship for the Navy. I said, I just blame people for my problems because I don't want to take responsibility. And people be laughing, but this is really the real story here about this lady right here. Like, she does not want to take any responsibility for her actions. And it gets worse and worse and worse. She's very attractive, but you're going to see how messed up in the head she is.
In 2018, at 22 years old, she claimed the money had made her life 10 times worse after she got in some legal trouble, including being charged with drunk driving at a McDonald's. Park lost a big part of her newfound fortune in some shady business, spending a whopping £100,000 on a top Harley Street doctor, for example, who was supposed to control her manic jealousy and turn her into wife material. The young winner lost an additional £100,000 in a doomed business venture with Edinburgh gangland boss Mark Richardson, and also spent more than £50,000 on various plastic surgeries, including a Brazilian bum lift and boob job, after becoming obsessed with glamorous celebrities on social media.
So she's out there trying to chase the Kardashians and got her ass broke. And I'm telling you guys, you keep chasing these celebrities. I see a lot of people doing this, whether they hit the lottery or not, trying to keep up with them. And some of y'all getting killed doing nonsense, right? I've seen people or heard about people doing the butt lifts, things like that. And it's a very dangerous surgery right there. Why don't you just go to the gym like I'm about to go to, get those squats in, do the lunges, get the work in, do it the right way. I know you got money, but money's not everything when it comes to your health, right? And right now, I don't know where she's at, probably in the UK, but she's probably hating life right now. You got to do some soul searching, lady.
Patty Bigby's story is surely one of the weirdest ones out there, as she went from winning $1 million in the lottery to getting arrested for trying to sell her 10-week-old grandson over Facebook for $75,000. Within 2 years, Bigby had blown all her
Yes, she say sold her grandchild for $75,000. I can't make this up.
lottery money and was so desperate for cash that she was eventually willing to accept $30,000 for the baby. But the story becomes even stranger. Apparently, Bigby's 22-year-old daughter Stephanie and mother of the baby boy was on board with the whole thing, and together they tried to sell the child to another one of Bigby's daughters, 26-year-old Danielle, who had been given up for adoption as a baby but whom Bigby had recently reconnected with on Facebook. Danielle decided to contact the authorities, however, even claiming that Bigby had also sold her to her adoptive parents and often blackmailed them for additional money by threatening.
Yes, that happened in Florida. When I first did this reaction video, I had a feeling she was from Florida because they sound like some Florida craziness. Florida got some crazy people. No offense to my Floridan folks out there. I was out there in Panama City for 3 years, but again, I was in Panama City Beach and I seen it all. So this does not surprise me at all.
To ask for the child back. Police made Danielle accept the deal and agree on a drop-off point where Bigby and her 42-year-old boyfriend were met by police and arrested upon showing up. The former millionaire was later sentenced to 5 years in prison for illegal sale of a child and communications fraud. David Lee Edwards was a convicted felon when he won $27 million in the Kentucky Powerball back in 2001, and he quickly went on an insane shopping spree, buying multiple cars, a house, a medieval armor and weapons collection.
Why do you need all that stuff? I mean, come on, man. Yes, you came out of prison, right? You know, I'll get that money. My first thing is this. If I had all that money, right, it's 2001. You know, I got to be smart with it. You see the lady in the video right here. That's supposed to be his wife, but she probably starstruck anyway because it's a come up, right? Whether she win, lose, or draw. But the guy has to change the way you behave because with money does not transform you, right? I know people say, oh, it'll transform you. If you have a poor mindset with money, so if you go get your paycheck now, and you can't get that paycheck to go into the next paycheck period. Let's say you're going from check to broke within a matter of days. You getting an abundance of money, like a lottery, it's just going to amplify that behavior. Right? Someone who's maybe frugal with their money and being able to say, you know what, I'm going to put some of this money into a trust. So if something goes wrong, you know, God forsake, you know, God, you know, be my witness. I'm going to be able to at least have some money down in the future and I can protect my future self. A lot of people don't want to do that. A lot of people say, I need to have it now. And we're now in a society where it's going on. But this story right here, whew, wait.
Private jet, racing horses that kept losing, and a Hummer golf cart for his daughter, among other things. Within just 1 year, Edwards had spent roughly $12 million and contracted hepatitis from repeated drug abuse.
1 year, he had 27 million. He barely has over half of his money in 1 year. How do you go through our stuff? Caught, you know, hepatitis was drug addiction. I mean, really? Really, dude.
By 2006, all of his lottery winnings were gone. His wife had left him because he was broke, and he was forced to sell all of his belongings. Edwards ended up living in a storage unit where he died alone, surrounded by his own feces, owing thousands of dollars just 12 years after winning $27 million in the Powerball.
And that's what I'm saying, guys. Like, if you come across a lot of money, you shouldn't have to do all that. You shouldn't have to go blow your money. You shouldn't have to be. It's a whole different type of change. It should enhance you. You shouldn't even play. I'll be honest with you. You shouldn't even play the lottery. Now, I played the lottery where, you know, I go to the gas station, driving across country. Well, let me get a lottery ticket or whatever. But I've seen people where they put hundreds of dollars in the lottery. And they're hoping one day they could do it, where they could have just went ahead and took their money, put into a vehicle that can make more money, such as an ATM. That could be your lottery machine. You can get a number of ATMs, set them up throughout your city or your state or multi-states, and then really make money. I'm just saying, work smarter, not harder.
Kyle said it was like a dream when he won a £5.1 million jackpot on the National Lottery in the UK in 2005. The retired Royal Artillery gunner was convinced the money would change his family's life, and for a while it really did. They went on expensive vacations, he bought cars and boats, and moved from his average home into a luxury 5-bedroom mansion with a steam room, a bar, and a pool. But a mere 3 years later, Kyle was reportedly broke and on benefits after spending an unbelievable £4,600 a day, around $5,800, according to the Plymouth.
Okay, I don't know how you go from just living as a retiree, right? And you're not even spending that much. That's every day. You're going from there, because for a retirement check, I don't know what it is over in the UK, but a retirement check is half of what you have with your base pay for the military, right? And people make it happen. It may be $2,000. It may be $3,000, and they make it work. They make it last for a month. Now you're telling me that you're going through that and some more every day?
Harold. In addition to spending his money on luxury cars, pricey holidays, his mansion, and extensions and building works, Kyle had also given his kids quite a lot of cash and made some bad investments. So
I don't like how they're talking about how he gave money to his kids and made bad investments, like trying to tie that in and say, hey, your kids are jacked up, because we don't know the situation right there. I've been in a point where I asked my mom for money and I paid her back. We don't know the situation, right? So I'm not going to say that's a bad move, but if you do have a kid that has an addiction, has a spending problem, then yes, it's a problem, right? But they don't elaborate too much. They just leave it off like, oh, he gave money to the kids. Give money to your kids. I don't have kids myself, but give money to your kids. It's not a bad thing. If your kids know you got the money and they know you're not going broke if you give them the money, of course they're going to go to you. But if you don't teach those values in your child about money being a financial tool versus just being an object to just go buy something here and there, then of course it's going to be a problem.
2008, he had lost everything and had to claim unemployment benefits.
That's sad.
𝐦𝐨𝐫𝐞 was a single mother living in Lawrence, Massachusetts, when she bought a lottery ticket in April 2004 that turned her into a millionaire a few days later. Like so many other lottery winners, 𝐸𝐸 started splurging immediately, starting with a party for 20 of her friends and family who ordered several $200 bottles of wine during the bash. She then...
All those people come out. I'm telling you, when you get money, all these so-called friends come out and want to splurge with you because it's not their money and they know you got it.
Enrolled her son in a private school with an annual tuition of $10,000, went on a few trips, and bought a new house. Next on her list was fulfilling her dream of buying and operating a hometown restaurant. But unfortunately, it didn't even take 6 months until the seafood restaurant had to be closed due to financial woes.
Now, my whole thing on that is that why did you have to open up a hometown restaurant? Like, my whole thing is this: being a business major, understanding how business go, understanding what market saturation is, right? Basically saying like, hey, if there's 5 or 6 seafood restaurants here, should I put a seafood restaurant? What is going to be my competitive advantage? My thing to her would have been this: don't do a hometown restaurant. What she should have did to make her money pop off, open up a few franchises, open up a Red Lobster, open up a Captain D's, open up some of these things. Because the thing is, with a franchise, they give you a playbook, right? They give you a structure on what you shall do. Now, if you wanted to still open up your own restaurant, okay, that's cool. But underneath that franchise, they tell you exactly what you're going to be doing. You can't deviate from their formula of how they run their business, right? You can't say, well, I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to add this somewhere. No, it's following the exact instruction. They send you to school. That's how McDonald's University is. Before you can buy into a franchise, they send you to their headquarters, right? Or send you to the school. So they teach you everything you need to know. They work with you. You have a team that makes sure that you succeed, because if you fail, they fail, because they want you to make money, because you get some of the money too. But more importantly, they get their money too. So they probably would have told her, don't put it in your hometown. Maybe put it right outside, because they want you to have high volume of with customers coming in and buying from you. And then if I was to be in that situation like that, want to open up a fish place, and I went through Red Lobster, I could spend a number of years learning their system. And then if I don't want to do any more franchising, I can safely say, I know what I'm doing. I'm going to host a fish business over here, because doing this thing by yourself without having any prior experience or any type of forehand knowledge with any subject matter expert, it's going to lead you into a detrimental road.
In addition to this, 𝐤𝐸 didn't think it was worth saving any of her lottery money or investing in a safer option, and she was eventually left with no option but to wait for her luck to turn around again.
I have no clue what that means.
In 2005, 𝐦𝐨𝐬 won the equivalent of nearly $11 million with a lucky British lottery ticket, which turned his life completely upside down. He squandered all of his money away buying exotic cars, racehorses, and luxuries like stadium box seats. On top of that, con men scammed him out of nearly $1 million, and just 2 years after winning the lottery, 𝐤𝐸 split from his wife of 25 years. His life got completely out of control in a matter of just a few years, and in 2010, 5 years after becoming the seemingly lucky winner of nearly $11 million, the 58-year-old former baker's life came to a tragic end after he drank himself to death.
You know, that's terrible right there. You know, that was more than a mouthful. You know, drunk himself to death. All these people come out. And the thing is, I tell people this. If you were to win the lottery, you do not have to go up there. You do not have to go up there and show your face. Now, I've seen people where they put masks and stuff on. Their name would be on public, but the way to get around it is to have an LLC. Have your name removed from it and put it underneath the LLC. So if you want to name it like how my business is Elite Enterprises, if I was to win the lottery, I would say this is on the behalf of Elite Enterprises. You don't have to go up on stage and take a picture. You can hire a lawyer or accountant to say, I need you to represent my business, to go up there and get that check, and no one will be following you. That's how those con men get a lot of people. They see on the news, they see who won a lottery, and they show who won the lottery, they show the name, and they start calling, hey, I can help you make more money, I can help double your return, all this crap, right? Never heard of them. And the guy got swindled, he got tricked.
Spend, spend, spend is what Viv Nicholson replied when asked what she and her husband Keith would do with the money he had won in the football pools in 1961. And that is exactly what the couple did. However, growing up in extreme poverty, they had no concept of how to manage or save money, and their constant and lavish spending sprees over the next few years quickly depleted their fortune. They purchased expensive sports cars, fur coats, clothing, home appliances, jewelry, vacation trips around Great Britain and abroad, and many other things, with Viv later admitting that she became so consumed by spending money that it was comparable to an addiction to narcotics. Sadly,
that's true. If you don't understand money, if you're addicted to gambling, because I have family members that were addicted to gambling, drugs, alcohol, things like that, right? Money, it's the same thing. If you don't understand how to stop spending, you just spend, you don't have no way to get out, it can hurt you, right? Not sitting there saying you can't have credit card debt, but the thing is, you don't want to sit there and owe more than what you have, right?
Keith then died in a car accident, and within 4 years following the accident, Viv was penniless. She made many attempts to regain both her public profile and her lost wealth, even recording a single entitled Spend, 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 written by her brother, and appearing in a strip club singing Big Spender. However, Viv had become an alcoholic during her wealthy years, and it got a lot worse after losing everything. At one point, she even tried to kill herself, but eventually became sober and converted to Jehovah's Witness. While the story of her and her husband's lottery win was turned into a play in the late 70s, Viv Nicholson never managed to regain her fortune.
That's her. That's her.
question and passed away in 2015, aged 79, after having a stroke and suffering from dementia.
That woman looked like she in her late 80s, maybe 90s. I'm just telling you, my mom is 76 years old, right? Mom don't look nothing like that. My mom looked like she's in her 50s. And that's what happens when you have an addiction. That woman start getting on, drinking, possibly doing drugs. I mean, look at her teeth. Now, I don't mean to be talking crazy about people, but like, this is what happens when you want to go fast as hell, when you got money in your hand and just go down the drain like that. You gotta be wise with your money, guys. You gotta think ahead. Number one, guys.
In 1998, John Roberts, a former security guard, won £3.1 million in the UK National Lottery, equivalent to £5.5 million or $6.8 million today. But he managed to lose everything in record-breaking speed and then blamed his friends for persuading him to make some bad investments. This includes...
That goes back to what I say, man. You got to look back at yourself. You can't sit there and blame your friends. They never put a gun to your head and say, go buy things.
Buying a pub, which as it later turned out never actually belonged to him since Robert's name was never on the deeds. While the Edinburgh native celebrated his win with champagne in 1998, he splurged his fortune on supercars and dodgy investments so that his winnings were gone by 2001. And Roberts not only had to move into a mobile home, but was also around £20,000 in debt.
Wow, guys, I'm telling you. They managed to get him, they finessed him to get a bar. They even got his name on it. He thinking he's gonna make money. And they said, no, that's us. You gotta make your own money. That's crazy right there. You gotta be smart, guys. Don't trust everything. When you get that type of money, you have to be smart. You have to be careful who your friends. Not saying you can't be friends with them, but when you are at that type of level where you have that type of money, you have a different circle of friends because people are gonna look at you as a resource. So I can get money. I don't gotta go through the bank. I can go through him. And it's bad. You end up being more broke than what you were. And again, that's the mindset. If you don't have your mind together, you're not going to be able to do the things that you need to do. So guys, tell me what you think. Drop your comments down below. You like the quality of what we're providing with the reaction videos, let me know. Leave comments down below. Throw some likes. And again, my name is Mr. Luke Evan Brooks. I see you on the other side. Take care.